Hello, my name is Luke Eldridge, and my technology presentation is on Apple CarPlay, the ultimate co-pilot. In general, Apple CarPlay is the smartest and safest way to use your iPhone when you are driving. By hooking up your phone to the car system, you are able to mirror the applications that Apple has set up for CarPlay onto the built-in display. You don't have to have a touchscreen for this either because you can control everything with the buttons and knobs on your steering wheel and dash. And just a few of the things that you can easily do without touching your iPhone is making and answering your phone calls, sending iMessages, using maps, and listening to music. The only two things that you need to use Apple CarPlay are an updated iPhone 5 or newer and a compatible car. Currently, Apple CarPlay is available on over 500 vehicles, most of which are very common brands and models. Apple is also working with manufacturers to continue adding to this list every year. If consumers have a model of car that does not have Apple CarPlay, but they would like to add to it, there are aftermarket systems from stereo manufacturers such as Sony, Pioneer, and Alpine that can easily make this happen. The success of Apple CarPlay focuses heavily on network effects. Network effects are successful when the value of a product increases as its number of users expands. Apple is using this to influence consumers that have a car with Apple CarPlay pre-installed to purchase an iPhone so that they can use this feature. Because users are not having to pay for this feature in their car, then consumers who have an iPhone already are also more apt to keep them due to the concept of staying power, which is the long-term viability of a product. Apple also uses network effects to gain a competitive advantage above the competition. Apple is a well-known brand that is used by people that do and do not have Apple CarPlay, so offering this for free and gaining more customers from it will only benefit Apple's overall numbers. The way that Apple sustains a competitive advantage over the competition is that it has the four characteristics to control a set of exploitable resources. First, it allows drivers to perform tasks on their phones hands-free, and this is incredibly valuable for driver safety, especially in the states that are hands-free that doesn't allow drivers to have their phones in their hands while driving. Secondly, Apple CarPlay is rare. I'm not saying that there aren't other systems out there that exist, such as Android Auto or Tesla, but it is the only system available in specific models of vehicles. Next, Apple CarPlay is imperfectly imitatable. One example is that if a customer uses Apple Music, then other brands and companies cannot accommodate their needs by allowing this to be used as an application. Lastly, Apple CarPlay is non-substitutable. This amenity is built into the car, so that it cannot be swapped out for something like Android Auto. This is also true with several of the applications that Apple offers. Apple CarPlay is put into the category of a complementary benefit and is often used as a selling point in new vehicles, especially for current iPhone users. Value-adding sources, in this case, Apple and vehicle manufacturers, are working together to reinforce one another to make the network effect even stronger. This is similar to the way that Apple adds value every time that there is an iOS update. The more vehicles that utilize Apple CarPlay, the more value there is in choosing CarPlay over a competitor. Apple is also able to compete in the market of car infotainment due to network effects. Apple is known for making large pre-announcements about their products and their updates, and this is also true with CarPlay. Currently, there is a lot of interest and talk about the iOS 13 update and what kind of new features there will be. CarPlay is also successful because it is offered for free on Apple's part. This means that the Osborne effect is decreased, and that's when a company experiences a sharp and damaging drop in sales of current products because a pre-announcement was made about the newest product. There are two top recommendations that can be made for Apple regarding the future of Apple CarPlay and the gaining of a competitive advantage over the competition. Those are that if Apple CarPlay wants to keep its status as a complementary benefit, it needs to monitor companies that are charging fees for the use of Apple CarPlay. BMW currently is charging a one-time $300 fee for its customers that have and want to use CarPlay in their vehicles. Alternatively, Apple could take this on as their own, and then they could begin charging a subscription fee. Currently, with Apple Music, they offer a 3-month free trial and then charge a monthly fee after that. If Apple was to do this, then it would be advised that they move away from being a complimentary benefit only after they reach a set number of dedicated customers that would be willing to pay to keep using Apple CarPlay. So, in retrospect, Apple CarPlay has all the tools to be successful in the infotainment market. It will be interesting to see where they go from here and how Apple begins to develop it as it progresses while working to dominate this section of the infotainment technology market.